How does school affect your mental health?
It affects my mental health deeply. Adds a lot of stress to my life. It There's also a lot of like expectancy to do good, and that expecting of me to do my best can kind of affect you, because if you aren't doing your best, or you aren't as good as other people in your class or school, then you feel like you're not good enough. Then you stop trying, because you feel like even if I do try this, I'm not going to get anywhere. So then you just stop trying. It's like there's no point, you know.
Does homework affect your creativity?
Um, Not directly, but indirectly, yes, as it doesn't give me enough time to focus on creativity, focus on myself, whether that be like drawing or writing. It hasn't stopped me from doing it. It stopped me from even beginning hobbies. You know, I never got the chance to learn piano because I was always doing something in school or something to do with school, whether that be studying or doing homework or being in school.
I'm happy coming to school now because we're in transition year and it's a lot more laid back. I admire Adele the most because she has a very positive outlook on life. If it was up to me as to how we spent the creative schools money, I would use it to make a chill out room for people who are stressed.
I think school is a creative place.
For me, I think school is creative in certain ways. I think that if you do more practical subjects, there's definitely more space for you to do it. In things like art and music, you definitely have more opportunity. I think as well, though, there's some subjects like English that don't get recognised for having creativity, because you are still writing your own opinion and your own ideas and your own stories. I do think that the more academic subjects definitely don't have they don't even have time to put in creativity, because the system isn't made with creativity in mind. But I think that the school definitely does have some subjects that take it into consideration, which I like.
What is your creative outlet?
For me, it's actually reading. I find that I don't have a lot of time to read. I definitely don't have as much as I used to when I was younger. But when I do sit down, it's like the time just goes so much quicker than you ever wish it would. You wish you could just sit there and read for like 5 hours, but you can't. And I like the way, my favourite thing about it is the fact that like my image of what's happening in the book or the story or whatever it is that I'm reading will be completely different to whoever else is reading it. And I just think that it's so interesting and cool the way everybody's like interpretation of the book or whatever it is, it will be completely different. And it's like, it's always creative because you're constantly making the image that they're describing. Well, we have the new school being built, so I would personally I find that I wouldn't like the idea of having really extravagant painted walls inside the building. I would rather, I think, paint the doors, because when they're going in, they get the sense of like what they're going into is different and creative, because inside people might get more distracted by it. And I would kind of paint or design each door like separate to each teacher, so whatever subject they're teaching, they could design it around that, and it would brighten up the experience in the room before they go in.
I think a lot of the school is very creative, but I think everyone should find their own creativity and things they're interested in. Personally, my creative outlet is painting. I really enjoy it because time seems to fly when I do it, and especially in school, it's sort of when we paint, it's something that always like. Personally, I would try get everyone to design their own lockers and paint over them and just make them their own, to show like the individuality and the diversity within our school. I think it would definitely brighten up the hallways a little bit and make it seem more creative.
Yeah, I'm a lot happier this year coming to school than I was last year. I think the school lacks time and to be free with creativity.
What is your creative outlet?
I don't have one.
From first to third year, coming to school wasn't very fun for me because I don't feel like the academic side of school the academic side wasn't as good as doing like sports and stuff outside of school. I admire my mum the most, as she has worked in many different jobs and still goes to colleges and courses. I have stopped doing some hobbies for school because I don't have time to study and to do hobbies after school and to do my creative outlet.
I am happy coming to school. I'm a lot happier coming to school this year than I was last year, though. Definitely, because like if I had loads of homework, I'd be really like mentally tired, if that makes. I definitely think a space where we could relax and be creative, somewhere that would be non-supervised, just quiet as well. I was proud of my junior cert results. It affects my mental health because it puts me under a lot of pressure, and this year not so much, but last year I was definitely stressed and not very relaxed. I don't really have a creative outlet. I'm not very creative, if you know what I mean.